The Porsche 911 has always been the thinking man's car. It's got plenty of practicality, it's fast, certainly, and it's always had this solid carved from aluminum build quality feel about it. And the people who love them really love them. But I've never really had a lot of real track time in a modern 911. So here we are at the track, and we're gonna find out how it does at speed. Oh yes, this is the Carrera S. So you get a 400 horsepower flat six engine hanging in the back. You get a wonderfully developed chassis in this 991. And because it's a 911, even with everything fully disabled, and I've got traction control off, everything is off, it doesn't feel like the car is gonna get away from me. It's fantastic. Yes! There's the 400 horsepower going. It revs out to 7,500 RPM and makes just the wickedest sound. These cars, they look simple. They feel advanced, but at the same time, still very analog. And it's just wonderful to drive fast. I do have ceramic brakes here, which is very nice. I have a lovely shade of yellow. I have every option pretty much you can get in this car, which is why it's $145,000. Even if you could take the starting price of $99,000, it's not cheap. But man, is it nice, and man, does it punch above its weight class. Lightning quick shifts, the dual clutch transmission. PDK really is one of the best gearboxes in the business, if not the best. The car, it's telepathic, the way the handling works. And honestly, after you drive a Porsche, every other car that you get in, honestly, feels a little sloppy. You know, I love the C7 Corvette and I love the Jaguar F-Type. See, the C7 is built to an American 10, but a European 7 in terms of build quality, materials, fit and finish. The Jag F-Type is about a European 8. Nice car. But after you drive the 911, both of those cars feel so utterly sloppy, you can't believe it. And that's what you're paying for with this car. You're paying for the precision that you really don't get anywhere else. It's nicer than a $300,000 Ferrari inside in terms of build quality. It just is. And it feels like you can't break it. When you drive the 911, it feels like it is just indestructible. It wants to rev. It wants to respond to your inputs. It wants to dance with you. Now, is there a problem with the 911? Other than the price, yes, there is a problem with the 911, and it's what I call the Cayman complex. The Porsche Cayman is a lot cheaper than the 911, and truth be told, it's a better chassis. The engine's in the middle, it's not hanging off the back, which means it actually is better to control through the corners than the 911, but they won't put the good engines in it. The base 911 engine is the biggest engine you can get in a Cayman. If they put a GT3 engine in the Cayman, you'd have the best car ever made. But Porsche won't do that because they want to keep people spending the big bucks on these rather than Caymans. If you don't understand Porsche, the key is to find a way to get one on a racetrack. Because when you start driving them really quickly, especially one of the new ones, there are not a lot of cars out there that dance with you the way that this car does. And it is, I mean, there's different kinds of horsepower, right? Like there's Mustang horsepower, which is the car isn't as fast as the horsepower would lead you to believe. Then there's Porsche horsepower, which is the car is actually quite a bit quicker than the number would lead you to believe. So 400 horsepower, you can still do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds flat. You can still go 190 miles an hour. And everywhere in between, it's marvelous. What an amazing machine this car is. That was exhilarating. Really, truly, honestly exhilarating. I'm going to keep this car for a while. And I've decided today that in the next 2 years, I'm going to find a way to buy a Porsche. Because once you drive one, if I'm honest, everything else seems a bitch.